Hello, and welcome to the Early Bird Special with your hosts, Carole Montgomery and Julia Scotti. And now, here's Carole Montgomery.
La 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 la, music, 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 music. Someday we will actually get music, but till now you only get to hear me. Woo! Hello, everybody. Hi, everybody. How are you? How is, wow, tomorrow's the big day, huh? Big day. Inauguration day. Woohoo! I was supposed to have a meeting tomorrow at 5 o'clock in the evening, and I actually wrote to to the person I was supposed to have the meeting with, and went, "I think I'm going to be drunk, so can we possibly move the meeting?" So hopefully we get to move the meeting. Otherwise, I'm going to have a meeting because I'm going to be shit faced. So that's pretty exciting. I'm feeling kind of sort of maybe hopeful, but not really, because, I'm still worried. I want to make sure that everybody who goes to the inauguration is safe. So hopefully tomorrow or next week when we chat, we can talk about how great it was and how loving and wonderful. The one thing I loved, and this is not because of what happened 2 weeks ago. Thing I think that was great is that there's a great shot in the National Mall because there's no people because of COVID. It's just flags. It's just all these great flags. And there's a great shot if you look it up, you can. It's just hundreds of flags, and at nighttime they're all lit up. It's beautiful. It makes you very excited about the future. So that's what's going on there. What else is happening? I know we last week and the week before we talked about the challenges I was having, writing and feeling creative, and that was mostly because of what's going on with the pandemic, and then adding the 2 weeks ago with the insurrection that didn't help the situation. But I'm here to tell everybody that I'm back. I'm very excited. The way I am as a comedian is I'm not somebody that writes every day to begin with. I basically come up with an idea and then I work on it, and then usually when I'm on a stage with an audience is where I get to work out my stuff. But because of social media, which is great, I am now trying out my material on social media, and so far it seems to be doing good. So I am back. I have a couple of projects. I'm hoping I will get off my ass and actually finish. But the thing about me, I'm all about preparation. So if you looked at my I have everything is prepared. I have my notes for my solo show. I have notes for my material, and so everything is prepared. I just have to. There'll be a moment in my life where I go, "Holy shit! Now's the time," and then I will sit down and I will write my manifesto. So I'm very excited about that, and I want to thank everybody for letting me bitch about the fact that I felt no creative juices at all, but looks like it's coming back. I don't know if it's because the nightmare of the past 4 years is over or because it's not. So just everyone knows that, we're all like, yeah. And then literally we've already started having issues with getting the cabinet confirmed. And, and we'll talk about it when I bring the rest of the guests on. My guest, who we will bring on in a few minutes, is the lovely and talented Jess Miller, who I met. God, I don't even remember where it was. I know where it was. It was in Connecticut somewhere in Connecticut somewhere. And she's a great comic. She's so funny. She's also a producer. She has her own show called Oh My God Comedy, OMG Comedy. But we'll talk about that too. And but I'm going to bring on my. We have some great news that's coming up with some of President Biden with some of his cabinets. So let's bring on my fabulous co-host Julia Scotti.
The son of a bitch goes home tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow he'll be gone. Just that son of a bitch tomorrow. I never have to. I don't want. I am over the goddamn moon, Carol.
I know.
It's over. It's over. It's over.
No, actually, it's over. It's over.
It's over. Oh. Did you
But
hear
it's-
that, Amelia? You can come out of hiding now. He's going tomorrow.
But not to burst your happy bubble, but he's not.
So am I going to hear sad trombone now?
Wah, wah, wah. No, one of the things that I said. So somebody said it. It was my son. My son actually said that, like, he gets inaugurated on noon tomorrow. He goes at 12:01. Fox News is going to go, there are over 400,000 dead Americans on Biden's watch.
Yeah.
And I was dying. My son, I thought that was the funniest, because
it's the truth, though. It is.
It's already starting. That piece of shit, Josh Hawley, that traitor, the one that
what did he do?
Picture. He already he put a hold on the Biden's cabinet, the Department of Homeland Security. He's already gone, no. It's like,
can he do that?
He's a senator. Yeah, he can. They can do it. So that what's going to have to happen is they wanted to make it because Homeland Security is kind of important. Just putting it out there, and I guess there's certain cabinet members that you can push through, like, immediately, like, without having to go through the confirmation. That was one of the first ones they were trying to push through fast. And now
I have a feeling Josh Hawley's not long for the Congress anyway.
No, he was the one. He was the one that had the picture like this, going like right on to the fascist storm.
Here's the thing: at exactly 12:01 tomorrow, the Democrats take control of the Senate.
Oh yeah,
and then they get to name who's on the committees.
Right.
And so Josh Hawley, I don't know about Josh Hawley, but I'm sure America has a message for him. I don't know what it is.
Well, you heard about that. McConnell just put a release, posted something saying that it was Trump that incited the mob, and that it was.
Did he? No, I didn't.
Yeah. This is like brand new, so it's like.
Oh,
McConnell.
Really? Wow.
But I've been saying this for months, Julia. I said he got what he wanted. He got the fucking Supreme Court stacked. He doesn't need him anymore.
No,
he doesn't.
And now he's faced with the prospect of 4 years of having to.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I am like you. I'm very hopeful. I'm worried, because I don't trust. It's funny because I go back and forth on this, because as somebody who's worked with the military and gone overseas, and I've seen the security. Like I was telling Todd this story yesterday, that it was so funny. I forget what base we were at, but they said, "Oh, you want to see the war room?" And we went, sure. And it was a giant room. But as they said, okay, just have to wait a minute. And when we walked in, there was like, let's say 100 TVs, every TV went black. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do have, I want to, as much as, people are talking about, there's the right wing has infiltrated the National Guard, and everyone is worried. I want to give props to our military.
Absolutely. They did pull 12 of them out of the
right
inauguration.
Yes, absolutely. But for the most part, I would say 99.9% of our military has that oath that they take to the Constitution. I
agree, and I agree.
So the Jew in me is nervous, because I worry about everything. But you gotta, God forbid something happens tomorrow, it'll be on the military's watch, and I don't think they want that.
No, I think we're going to be okay for tomorrow. He actually, did I hear right? He's taking the train in from Delaware.
No, he's not. He was going to, but they decided that they didn't, due to safety concerns. He's not going to do that.
I think that's probably a smart move. But he's flying from Wilmington to DC. Yeah,
something like that. I'm not really sure what he's doing.
It's like an hour drive.
I know.
Put him in a helicopter. I mean, it's all right. Save some gas. Gas is expensive. Jet fuel costs money, Huh?
Yeah, I know. So I want everybody out there that it's a very, we have one more day of this, And but have faith in our military and
You
have
want
faith.
to sing with me? The son of a bitch is gone tomorrow.
No, I think we need to do a Golden Girls version of Annie.
Okay.
And you should play Annie because you really
Oh, yeah.
sang that beautifully.
It's a hard knock life. Fuck you. That's my version of it.
Oh my God! All right, let's bring on our fabulous guest. I love this young lady. She is a baby in our industry, as far as age wise. She's not as old as us, but
I'm just meeting her for the first time.
I know, and
It's like a blind date.
I know, and she's great. She you know how I feel about comics. She's a real comic. I love when there are younger comics that walk the walk and talk the talk, because I hate people who are in this business who are who are wannabes. Oh, so let's bring on Jess, and then we have to talk about the cabinet position. But let's bring on Jess.
Yeah, we forgot about that.
Yes, hey, let's bring on Jess. Hey, hi, Jess.
Hi.
Hi, Jess.
I have the song stuck in my head. The sun will come out tomorrow.
Son of a bitch is gone tomorrow.
Gone tomorrow.
Well, the greatest thing is that there was video of the moving trucks pulling up to Mar-Lago.
I saw that.
Oh, I missed that. I didn't see that. Are the
I saw
people
the
moving
McConnell
out
thing,
or are they
too.
moving in?
Yeah, no, the trucks were moving in.
Oh.
It was great. So before we bring we have our bullshitting section, let's talk about the Rachel Levine. I think Julia, let's let everyone know.
Dr. Rachel Levine, who was, I think, not Surgeon General of Pennsylvania. I forget what her post was there, but she was instrumental in the COVID situation in Pennsylvania, has been named assistant. Oh, stop, Katie. Not now, please.
She's happy about Rachel.
No, assistant. I want to make sure I get this correct.
Assistant
Secretary of Health.
Yeah, that's great.
To the incoming Biden administration, she's the first openly transgender person to be confirmed by the Senate.
Yes.
Yay for us. Yay for us. Yay for America.
Yeah, it is. And that's what Biden said. He wanted his cabinet to look like America. And so it looks like America to me.
Well, nobody called me, so I figured, all right. Well,
and there's nobody, and there's no Biden in the cabinet. Isn't that no one named Biden? I don't know.
Amazing. This is amazing. Oh, Jess, yeah. I like your headphones. Look like you're gonna land a plane.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I was actually a helicopter mechanic in the Army.
Were you really?
I was.
You know, I used to fly, you know, and did you know that? I had a pilot's lesson, but I was going to go.
Really?
Yeah. I was a bad pilot. I wasn't very good.
I'm glad I didn't fly with you.
Well, I used to get lost all the time. Did you fly helicopters or did you fly?
No, I just worked on them.
Oh, you just worked on them. Okay. Mm-hmm. God bless you. Thank you for your service. Yeah.
I figured if we're all on a plane together and it goes down, as long as they have a manual, I can put it back together.
Nice. Good thinking. See, Amelia, you should have had somebody like Jess on the flight. She's my hero, Amelia.
Let me, because I was talking about what's going on tomorrow with the security, and Jess, because you are a veteran. I mean, am I right about that? Is it? Or are we really going to have somebody like the right wing that's infiltrated? I mean, I know that there are people in the military that are Trumpers. Mm-hmm. But do you think that they would do anything to with the oath to the Constitution? What do you think?
Depends on how hardcore you are.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Okay. I mean, the thing about being a veteran, I can say stuff now, but when you're in the military, you have to be apolitical. You're supposed to be.
Right.
So the fact that they had people inside of the military, I mean, I'm not surprised by it.
Right.
But the fact that they have to vet 25,000 National Guards, guardsmen and women, that's pretty sad. That's really sad.
But in answer, you know, and Carole, I mean, think about this. Jefferson Davis, I think, was a graduate of West Point, wasn't he?
Yes, I think so.
You know, and boy, you talk about not trusting somebody. You know, it's like he went and started a whole new country. So anything's possible. Jefferson Davis.
Yeah, but I'm not just talking the military. I'm talking about the FBI and the CIA. I mean,
It's
you
all
know,
possible. Anything's
it's all
possible.
possible, but I do think maybe I'm just being too rose-colored glasses, but I have to I have to have faith in the people that are running these
Sure.
agencies, that because they if you move up the ranks, like let's say with the FBI, you got to be pretty smart to be doing this shit.
That,
Or
and
I
you
mean,
have to get security clearances.
right, like the thing that I always talk about with what happened 2 weeks ago was the stupidity of the people who were posting videos of themselves on the internet.
I
Like,
think that was just them feeling very, very entitled.
Mm-hmm.
but I also
That,
think it's I
they weren't going to get in trouble.
right,
Mm-hmm.
and I also think that and I'm actually writing a story about this. I think that a lot of these people growing up, all of the between the everybody gets a trophy and video games and movies, I think they were cosplaying. I think that they were like, we're going to play patriots in the Capitol, and we're going to bring our guns, and we're going to do everything, because every one of these motherfuckers that got arrested, or like that woman who with the private jet, she flew to DC on a private jet, and now she's asking for a pardon because he told her to do that.
I
And we'll
think her
probably get
husband
one.
was a pastor, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So I'm fascinated with like even I know that the internet is forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, so and especially on like on Twitter, especially, there are people they literally post photos of people going, this person did something to so and so, find them, and within an hour, like especially like all the Karens and all that stuff, like when that woman when she berated the black bird watcher in Central Park, they posted her fucking photo. She was named and like almost drug out of her apartment within an hour.
Well, if you come home from Washington, D.C., wearing a Viking helmet and animal pelts, and you show, you put your key in the door when you come home, and people go, Bobby, where were you? Nowhere. I went down to the 7-Eleven to get cigarettes.
Bob.
Nobody's going to believe you.
Did you hear about the young gay girl who had been ostracized from her family?
Oh, that was great.
That turned him in. She turned him in.
Yes, that was brilliant. That was so great. That was so great. And it has to do it has to do with what you said with entitlement. Like Colbert did a sketch where they called it white privilege, and it was the fun. I mean, that's the thing, is that we now live in a country where people think there's no consequences for what they do, and that has to do with the we have taught our children that the whole thing with everybody gets a trophy. Yay, and you can do it.
I live out here in the Jersey Pine Barrens, which is big redneck country, but you see all these guys riding around in their big stupid trucks they're all wearing. They were like 50 years old with the big pot bellies and the hair growing out of their ears, but they're all wearing, camo, and they call it chemo, which I think is pretty funny, and I say, I'm sorry, I hope you're feeling better with the cancer. And like that. But they all act, they all play out, there's paintball around here.
Right.
They all want to be Rambos.
Right, but that's the thing. It's basically, I wouldn't be surprised if, how there were Civil War reenactors. There are going to be people that do the insurrection reenactors. They are absolutely going to be people who go, that was a great day in history. Let's do that again. These people really but like I said, it's the stupidity of thinking that you're not going to get. That's the thing that blows me away. Did you really think you weren't going to get caught? Did you?
That's amazing.
No.
But
anyway,
Jess. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You were going to say so, because I was
just gonna. I want to get to know you. I'd like to get to know you.
Let's get to know each other.
Let's get to know each other.
Okay.
Tell me all about it, Jess.
Well, I was born in Kentucky, and then no. Yeah, that's not a good start.
How long have you been doing stand up now, Jess?
I started in 2012.
Okay, so
I'm going on my 9th year.
Yep.
Do I count last year?
Yes, you do.
Do I? I get to count that?
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. I am headlining a Mother's Day show, and I don't even know if I'm going to remember my set. I'm so scared.
Wait a minute. We don't even know if if we're going to live to Mother's Day. So
Well,
just,
I know, but I anticipate that we will
oh,
because I'm
you're
an optimistic person.
She is, but Julia, the thing that's great about Jess is you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When I met Jess, we met at the was it in
Roadhouse in Rhode Island.
okay? Oh, it was Rhode Island, Connecticut. I don't fucking
It's all the same up here, yeah.
know. But she was a young comic, you know. But from the time that I saw her to the last time we worked together, she has grown. Like I love watching comics when they grow. Like you and I, Julia, we've been doing this 8,000 years, so it's not as exciting to watch us, but to watch a comic when you go, look, you know what I mean. I didn't mean it like that. Jesus Christ, but you know what I mean. Like, we're not going to grow in leaps and bounds the way because how many years ago did we work together?
Who, us?
Yeah.
2019.
Okay. So,
December.
yeah. So to see, no, I'm talking about at Roadhouse.
Oh God. 6 or 7.
Right.
Maybe?
So that's what I'm talking about. So when at 6 or 7 years ago, she was really a newbie then. You were like doing it 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And she was good. But then the last time we worked, I was like, oh, see,
There are people like that.
I love that. Thank you.
That just have this, they just shoot right ahead,
right.
exponential growth, whereas other people are plodding along. And you see them early on, and I'm happy to know. I mean, like I said, just I don't know you that well, but Carole, tells me when I watch some of your stand up, and she's right. I mean, you're really a good, strong headlining act.
Yeah,
Thank you.
But like Julia and I think we were the plodder. At least I know I was. I was a plodder along. I didn't get strong for a while. You know what I mean? Like,
But you started when you were 20 years old.
yeah, but that's true.
So with me, it's like I started at 32, and
but I was 28 just when I started.
42.
I mean,
42.
Yeah, no, it doesn't
42.
It doesn't
42
matter.
is my real age that I started, and I don't feel like one, I had life experience, which was helpful.
Right.
2, I started at Caroline, so I surrounded myself with really good comics.
Right.
And 3, I felt like, well, if I die soon, I should get as good as I can as quickly as I can. So it's just I'm very competitive.
I also think that I may be wrong here, but your military experience, the striving for excellence, the hard work, the good work habits, plays a part in your psyche in terms of developing as anything. You could have been a plumber, a butcher, whatever. You would have applied that same work ethic. I think, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, part of being, part like when I mean, like, I don't know, Julia, if you feel this way, but like when I meant by plodding along is that, I mean, like when I look at my old stuff, like I told you, I found my notes and I was like, oh, this is, you know what I mean? And so it took a while for me to really.
Yeah, but two things. First of all, she was a little bit older.
Right.
And second of all, when you and I came up, there was no business. We had no idea what the hell we were doing. There was nothing to look at and go, oh, that's what there's a template for me to develop. I mean, she's had the benefit of our 40 years of being in the business and all the people that came before her to look at. And I could be wrong, Jess, but and tell me if I am.
No, you're not at all. I mean, and I watch veteran comics and how they perform on stage. I want to learn because I learn. I think one of the Michelle Ballin, I worked with her at the Funny Bone, and I was mesmerized by how relaxed she was on stage. Because at the time I was still Happy Feet, and I would touch the cord, and I would just I'd be good. Oh, it's so quiet in here. People are listening to me. Why? And I did all that thing. And then, people would laugh and I'd be like, oh, okay, don't laugh too much because that's just weird.
But
and I had all those weird things and tics.
If you've achieved that relaxation thing on stage, then you are leaps and bounds ahead of.
I love silence on stage now.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I know where it's
that's
going.
the key. Yep.
Yeah, but I've also stuck with my set for the entire 8 years. And like both of you, where you both said that you write on stage,
Right.
I also do that. So I stick with my set, and something will come out on stage, or I'll work a little piece out on stage, but in the middle of good bits. And so I've been able to. I think I have about an hour and a half worth of material. It's not enough for me to put it up on the internet and burn it. I wouldn't want to do that, but I think that's really where I've gone. And I love audiences, and I love making people laugh. So, and then the other thing I did was I just started producing shows.
Right.
And that gave me I hosted every single one, almost every single one.
It's great stage time. Boy, that's a lot of good stage time.
My very first show, I only had 5 minutes. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get the best comics I know at the time. So I got Vince August to headline. I think Leah Bonema came up. I had Beecher, I had good comics on the show. So all I literally had to do is go out, say 5 minutes.
Where are
do
you
my
based
5,
out of? Where are you based in?
Springfield, Mass.
Springfield, Mass. Oh,
do my 5 minutes and then get off stage and then come back on stage and go, and here we go. Here's the next comic.
Right.
And I just worked from that point.
Was I supposed to work with you and then I had to cancel because I was dying? I had a gig.
I don't think so, but I'm really glad that you're around.
No, I was booked in Springfield, and then I
Oh,
had
you were?
some theater. Was that you?
No.
Oh, no. Okay, then never mind.
But I want to talk about what you were saying about the working out the material. It's great what you just said about putting it in between something, because that was an old trick that I used to do when I was headlining. Where the full week clubs. Because it's dwindled down to Fridays and Saturdays. But Julia and I remember you used to go away Tuesday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what I would always do, and I loved to do this, is that if I had an idea for a bit, I knew I had a strong opening and I knew I had a strong closer, and anything in between that, I could get away with. Like if there was 5 minutes that were like, I could do it then, and that's such a great trick for comics to learn.
Yep.
Is to put it in the middle, so the audience is like, all right, she's trying to do something, but they're already with you. If you don't get them.
Yeah,
they're already with you. And also the other thing that I think was great with Jess is, and this is important for young comics too, is if there's not a place for you to work, fine, make your own. Do it yourself. Damn it, do it yourself. That's one of the things about the Zoom shows, I have to say. Now, are they some of them not very good? Absolutely, but then some of the bringer shows were never very good. But if you don't, Jess made sure, like she was such a stickler for making the show be good. Like because I remember when you had the club and you were upset because it wasn't as many people as you wanted. It didn't matter because they were there. She has an audience. The people who follow her anywhere. So I forgot how many people we had. They had the best time because they knew you can guarantee that when Jess does a show, she's putting on a great job.
And that's the work ethic coming through, though. I mean, she puts care and time and love into the show. And
I kind of figure that if I don't, people won't come back.
Right.
I love my audiences.
Seems like such a simple rule to live by, but you'd be surprised at how many people just go, I don't care.
Yeah, I care a lot. I care a lot about the audience. And I care about comics having a good time. Mm-hmm. So, I think if we're all having a good time, then we're all going to want to keep working together.
Right. I mean, I can't tell you the text I'd get from Jess like, oh my God, Carole, I have to talk to you. And I'm like, calm down. Take a breath.
That is so true.
Relax. Everything's gonna be fine because she cares. So, and I've said this, I'm
a little tightly wound.
She's a little tightly wound, but it's such a pleasure when you meet people, because in this day and age, people don't care. They just don't care about and I'm not just talking about comedy. I'm talking about in general. People, so it's a side way to the conversation, but I just bought a new computer and I'm supposed to get a certain interest rate and all this bullshit. So I don't have, So when I spoke to the woman and I said, look, I did this after this at ABC, and she said, hold on, let me figure it out. She goes, don't worry, I'll take care of it. And I said, well, you know what you're talking about. And she says, well, I've been doing this a long time, and I'm just what she was like. She was adorable. She was my age. She's like, I'm just waiting. I got a few more months before Social Security. We had the greatest conversation. She took care of my problem. She said, "Here's everything. Here's me if you need me." And I remember saying to my husband, "That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do a good job." And I said that to the woman. I said, it's such a pleasure to hear somebody on the phone doing their job. Because how many times have you, I don't know about if it's just me, but I have literally gone in to get like a soda when I used to back in the before times when I'd be riding to a gig, and the fucking person at the counter is texting. I'm like, can I just get my soda? And then you don't want to yell at them because they'll spit in the fucking soda.
I think that's their motto too. It's on the sign when you go in there.
We'll spit in soda.
We'll spit in the soda for you.
But the point is, Jess, it's a pleasure.
Extra.
It's a pleasure to have someone like you that's in this business. And Julia's the same way.
Thank you.
When we did the TV show, she was so terrified.
Well, tell her why.
Yeah, tell me why. Tell me the whole story, Carole.
Well, because she had to follow Thea Vidal, and
that's not the reason. No. That's not the reason.
Okay, you tell me.
That is not the reason.
Okay, tell me. What's the reason?
I was supposed to have been on her first show, and I couldn't because I was dying. And so
Right.
This was I was coming back, and we get to the thing, and I'm looking. It's a pretty impressive lineup, and I'm like, all right. And so she comes to me an hour before the taping. Right now, you've seen the lineup. Have you?
Yes,
seen the show?
I've seen the lineup.
An hour before the show, and we're sitting talking. She goes, "Oh yeah. By the way, you're closing the show." And I was like, "What?" And
No pressure.
No pressure. I don't want to close that show. Look at that show. I don't want to pull my phone. She goes, "You're going after Thea." I'm like, "Thea?" I mean, But I've been around as long as she has, and I've been in situations all my career that are high pressure. So I knew I could probably do it. I didn't know how good it was going to go, but I didn't want to risk my entire future on dying up here. But she says, "I know you can do it.
Yeah.
I know you can pull this off." And I was like, "You son of a bitch."
Yeah,
See,
okay.
Carole, you really are the national mom.
Yeah, but what she's not telling you is she fucking crushed. She walked
sure.
out and took that audience and just fucking swept them away. They adored her. So, but no,
I think I saw that episode. It was very, very good. It was amazing.
yeah,
Everybody on both. I think I've seen both of. You've had two,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah,
right.
I've seen both of the episodes, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, but I forgot why we brought this up, but I think it's important that when you're dealing with that level at all times, because everyone is on their game, you have to be on your game, and there's no being lazy about it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's so great about the women in those shows, because everyone went, "Oh, she just killed. All right, I have to go kill now." There was not like,
Right.
there's
That's
always
a good thing. That's a good thing. A lot of people get intimidated by that.
right.
Well,
and you go ahead, Julie.
I was going to tell my Lou Rawls story because it seems like I
Please.
tell it every week. But
Please.
you know Lou Rawls, right? You know who he is? Lou Rawls, blues singer.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
shit. Never mind. The story's going to go nowhere. Then I'll
I'm
forget
sorry.
it. Let's move along.
But
Sorry. I'll look it up.
Oh,
I'll
don't
look it
worry
up.
about it.
But what?
All right, can I tell her the story anyway?
Oh, tell her the
All right,
story.
so Lou Rawls was a big. He was a big singer back in my day. He had the song "You'll Never Find a Brother like Mine." Great singer. Big fan. I'm a big fan of his. Right. My very first opening gig was for Lou Rawls. I'm scared to death. Right. I don't think I can do this. It was like Carole. It was like what Carole did to me. Only he was a black guy. It was just not very similar. Anyway, right before the show, I said to him, "Lou, I'm really nervous. I don't think I can do this." So he takes me outside the theater, and we're out there smoking a cigarette, and he goes, "You're here because somebody thought you were good enough to be here." He goes, "That's good enough for me." He said, "You're going to go out there and you're going to kill." And every time, and when I did Carole's show, Lou was right in my head, man. I could see him telling me, and when I did AGT, he was there. If you're in a show that you don't think you belong, you're there because somebody thought you were good enough to be.
Right. And
That's all.
And when you do, and I know, like, I know that when we filmed the special, the pressure of doing well. But first of all, not that first of all, everyone was going to do well regardless. But remember that you're doing a TV show. And we have a great warm up act. Regina DeChico is our warm up act, so she's got them. So I mean, both shows were the audiences could not. It was like we could have just stood out there and picked our nose, and they were going to be like, "Oh my God, she's so brilliant," But I knew, and she always gives me shit about this, but I knew that she could do it. I really did. I knew that that she was gonna. I just knew it.
Have you done TV, Jess? Have you done any?
I have not.
Okay.
Nope. I would.
Yeah.
I think I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
You know what? It's the cameras, because I did try to film my hour comedy special like 2 or 3 years into doing stand up. I'm like, no, you shouldn't do that ever.
The one that was going to propel you to
yeah, that one. And then I watched it back and I was like, oh, suck. But part of why I sucked, I mean, and because I did at the time, but also I was very aware of the cameras, and I couldn't figure out how to like detach from that awareness just to do my set.
It's hard.
So I was in my head a lot.
Yeah. There was when I did AGT, I'd never worked with one of these before. There's cameras everywhere, but in this huge auditorium, right? But they had this little camera that's right in front of the stage, and it's on a track. And it goes back and forth, and they can shoot you from any angle they want. And it's like, all right, stop with the thing already. It's annoying, but you just block it out. I
have ADD too, though, so I would have been like, squirrel.
Right.
I would have followed it.
That's a skill, though, that you need to work on. Even if you're not on TV now, you should be, at home and working on preparing for that moment, because it's going to come.
I'm starting to I'm very comfortable with like this,
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you're like, if you're in the zone, I don't know. I mean, you both have been on TV, so, but I would imagine in my head that the perfect setup is that you don't even notice the cameras. You're just doing your thing.
You really don't. I don't. Do you, Carol?
No. Well, also, to me, it's just another set. You know what I mean? To me, it's just, and it's funny that you have the Lou Rawls thing in your head, because whenever I do TV, there was the movie Fosse. There's a scene where whenever he would go on stage, he'd go, "It's showtime."
Yes.
And that's exactly what I do. Like both times when I did the special, and every time I've ever done where I'm standing, because when you're, we didn't really have a place to stand before they walked you up to the stage. But like there was I forget which TV show it was. Maybe it might have been the Bill Maher show. But you're backstage, and the stage manager's like, all right, 30 seconds. And then, when you're standing there just waiting for the announcement, you go through your stuff. And the thing I always say is, it's showtime. And then that's how I go on stage. But I will tell you something that I gave a tip that's my best TV tip for anybody. So Brian Scott McFadden, who is a great comic. I don't know if either of you ladies know.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yes.
And he's so funny. And I mean, on social media, he just fucking kills it. But he was doing his first Letterman. And I saw him. I don't remember where we were. It must have been at Dangerfields. And he was terrified. And I said, I'm going to give you a tip that I used to tell my son when he used to pitch, because my son was a pitcher. And whenever he would have a bad, like when he was in a situation where it was down to the last thing, I would tell him to breathe. I was just to take a couple of deep breaths. I said, I want you to do this. I said, but you're going to be behind the curtain just before they say, and you're going to hear it before they say your name. Just big breath. Just take a deep breath. And if you ask him about that story, he will tell you. He goes, it calmed him. Like he still talks about that. He goes, that calmed me the fuck down. It's just go and walk out on stage. I don't know why it is. I don't know what.
It's a Zen thing, really.
Yeah,
it's a yoga thing.
Yeah.
What's the largest crowd you've worked in front of?
I think about 500.
Okay, so then it's not like you're a neophyte. It's just TV's the same as that. You would work. You would work to the crowd. You have to imagine that the camera crew and everybody else out there that is working for you, their job is to make you have to trust that they know their job. And they do. They usually do. If you're on a TV show, these people are all pros. They know, and they want a good product too.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
So you have to learn to trust that way. Your crew is so important. Even on a
Mhm.
stage show, your sound alike guy. You know how
Right.
important those people
Oh
are.
yes. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
It's the same on TV. So when you do TV, just remember that those people, let them do their job, and you will look fine. You do yours.
I also don't think I'm clean enough to be on TV. So
Oh
I'm not.
yeah.
I don't.
On network or on regular or on
Network
cable.
TV. Yeah, I would not
Yeah.
pass the bar there.
The
No,
day it doesn't really matter
I would
anymore.
not pass the bar.
no, I disagree, Jess. I know your act, and let me tell you. Here's where everything changed. Okay, I think I think it was Dane Cook. So this is going back now when we were still living in Vegas. So 16 years ago, right? Even before that. So we're watching. I don't know why we were watching. I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, maybe we're watching Kimmel show, and Dane Cook is on, and Dane Cook is doing his usual, "Hey, I'm doing jokes, but I'm really moving around, so you can't tell that I don't really have punchlines." You know that bullshit. And this is his ending joke. This is his ending joke. This is his closer. He goes, "So I woke up this morning, and my penis was so hard that I thought to myself, I wonder if I could take a peanut and flip it into my mouth because my penis is so hard." And he mimes doing it, gets it in his mouth, the fake peanut in the mouth, and goes, "Good night, everybody." My son, who probably was 12, looked at me and I went, and they were giving me shit about my act. Like he said, like he literally said they were giving, because he knew that I had my entire career has been about she's dirty, she's blue, she's dirty. So it's changed, Jess. It's not the TV sets of the olden days where it was the Tonight Show or Letterman. Trust me. Let's just say you called me tomorrow and said, "Okay, I'm going to be doing Colbert. Here's what I want to do." I would work out the set and change the words and flip them around, and you'd feel comfortable, and people would be like, "Did she just get away?" Yeah.
All right, I'm going to call you tomorrow and tell you I'm doing Colbert. I might as well put it out in the universe right now. I'm doing Colbert, so I'll be calling you to help me with my 5.
But it's so easy. It's like Patty Rossborough and I always have this argument because Patty is also considered a blue comic, and I've said, "Patty, I could work your 5 minutes. You'd be able to do any TV show on network that you can. It's a matter of just changing the words around. Don't you agree, Julia?"
Yeah, I think any set could be made into a TV program. I mean, yeah, of course, sure. I mean, most of the time it's language. It's not necessarily.
I will tell you that when I would go down to Florida and I would do a 30-minute set, I was mostly clean. Like I didn't say dick, I said penis or pecker.
Okay.
Right,
because like dick was too far over the top. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a dick.
Yes, I said fuck on network television.
Did you really?
On America's Got Talent, I said
Did you
fuck.
really?
Yeah.
Well, they beeped it out, right?
Yeah, they bleeped it out, but tell the story, because
bleeped it
this is
out.
a great, because this is one of the stories on the special. But tell the story about.
Oh, okay. So backstage, there's a producer. Everybody's British on that show. Everybody. And this producer Nigel comes up to me, and he knows my act. I mean, they booked me on the strength of that, and he said, "Julia, are you going to say fuck?" And I was like, I said, "No, I've got an alternate punchline. I'm not going to say fuck on NBC. Come on." He goes, "Oh, no, do it." Okay. Do it. He goes, "That's my career. I'm not going out there and, you go out and do it. I'm going to do the." He goes, "Trust me. If you do it, they will love you." And I had to make a decision when I got out on stage and I was getting to the, you got that little group of meeting that there's like an executive board meeting in your head.
Yeah,
And we're all arguing about whether or not I should say it. And somebody stood up at the table and said, Nigel's been producing the show for 11 years. You should have listened to him. And so we all took a vote. And meanwhile, I'm talking, right? So I get to the punchline, and I just took like with Carol said, I just took a deep breath, and I let it fly. The place went berserk, right? I get off stage, and Nigel's standing there, and he's like, this hand's filled. He goes, "I told you they'd love it." So the point of it is, it's like you can get away with almost anything. You could kill somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with becoming president.
Not anymore.
Not
anymore.
anymore.
Not anymore.
1201.
Yeah,
1201.
but it's let's talk about that quickly about the voices in our head, because we're already at 45. But let's do a few more minutes about this. I love what you just said, Julia, about the board meeting in your head.
Oh yeah.
Because, for people who are watching, that's such a comedian thing to do. I love telling this story. Years ago, when I was blonde and thin and didn't have I was pre-lane and everything. So I get to audition for the HBO 1 hour specials. Okay, back then that was like a huge thing, and I'm doing my set and I'm killing it. And I don't, both of you know me. I'm not somebody that goes, oh yeah, I killed. I knew I was killing it because there was somebody, I was outside of my body talking to myself going, so what are we going to buy with the money? Do you think you want to get a car? I mean, this was going on in my fucking head. Now, P.S., I didn't get it because there was some people higher up at HBO that didn't like me. But the reason I knew that I did well was because 2 weeks later, there was a comic who was in the audience and went, so when are you shooting the special, you fucking crush? And I was like, I didn't get it. And they couldn't believe that he didn't get it. But it's the same thing about that talking. We all do that.
But that is, Jess, and you probably have learned this already, I used to tell, I was a teacher, and I used to tell my students, listen to that inner voice that tells you to, if it tells you, gives you an answer, that's usually the correct answer. Follow that instinct. And that's what that executive meeting is. Of course, if you have multiple voices like I do,
I have multiple voices.
Yeah,
It's
well,
all
there you
good.
go. Okay, so then
I did a show. I mean, I just like to have fun. I love making people laugh. So I was doing a fundraiser, and I always record my sets. This is one of the things that I think that's helped me a lot and to improve. I always record my sets, and afterwards I listen to the set. Then I record my laughs per minute because I always want to be somewhere in the 8 to 10 range. I'm never there, but that's my goal, right? And then this one particular time, I was like, wow, I really said fuck a lot. And so I went back and I started counting the fucks. I said 16 or 38 fucks in 16 minutes. That was 2.4 fucks per minute.
Wow.
I mean, it was a firefighter cop fundraiser, so it was appropriate, and I'm a veteran, so it's like blah, 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 blah. It just came out, but it was like that's new. That's a new joke for me. Because it was like 2.4 fucks per minute. That's a little bit
right
much.
there. I mean,
That's a lot.
That's
a lot of
bit,
fucks to give.
Yeah.
My work here is done, obviously. My little Yoda back there. You've done your job if you can say 2.5. I mean, I always say fuck. You know that. I mean, that's just who I am.
I love working with you on stage because I've never once felt like I need to be careful. No, but I mean, it's true. You're supportive. You're like, don't downplay yourself. You want people to be good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that I've worked with that wouldn't want that.
Well,
they don't want you to be that good.
Yeah, I mean, I've had comics say to me, and I'm sure Julia's had this, and Jess, since you're starting really the headline a lot now, I'll get comics, like especially male comics, they'll go, I do this bit, and it'll be like it's a little raunchy, and I literally look them in the eye and go, if I can't follow you, I shouldn't be headlining.
Yes.
And I said, do what you want, because there are comics who will say, you can't do that joke or you can't do that, and I'm like, have fun. Believe me, I've been doing this long enough. I think I can follow.
I don't even go listen to when I made it a rule of thumb for me anyway, not to listen to the opening acts. If they specifically ask me, I'll
right.
But I won't stay for the whole set because I don't want to be influenced.
Yes.
At all. So I'll leave the room.
Right.
And if I hear a lot of laughter, I'll leave the building. I have done that where I've waited up and I would go, is he done yet? Is he done yet? Was she done yet? But I don't want to hear that.
That's not bad though, because you keep a clean slate. So when you go on stage, you're ready to go with your own material. So there's an influence.
Regardless, if you stand there and watch the person ahead of you killing, that's affecting you, whether you think it isn't or not. And when you get up there, that's going to be. Remember the board? They're in your head. They're like,
yeah. I get super excited about when people do well before me because that's you get to ride that wave.
Exactly.
That's how I look at it. It's like I'm going to ride a wave.
I'm not as secure as you are.
Nah. Yeah, but we all know that. Like I don't like when Julia and Vanessa Hollingshead and I we've done a couple of shows at Souls Joel's, and and some people stay and watch the show and some people don't. I don't. I'm like, do what you have to do to get into your head. Which, by the way, let me just do a plug quickly. We will be at Soul Joel's January 30th. You and I, Julia. Did you remember?
What's Soul Joe's?
Soul Joel's is a comedy club in a suburb of Philly, and he had it. It was an indoor club, and then he said, "Well, I'm going to experiment." There was a big parking lot next door, so he said, "I'm going to experiment with outdoor." So the first time we did it, it was just people brought their lawn chairs. It was literally like this is how I opened the show. I'm so glad you were all here for the Little League meeting.
But now it's a biodome, right?
Yeah, now it's a dome and it's heated and there's
No
sand.
kidding.
Oh, we could grow fungus in there. It's a petri
That's
dish.
awesome.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yes. So
And you feel safe doing that?
yes.
No. Oh yeah.
No.
I bring my own mic. They have separate mics for each of the comics.
That's
and
good.
and it's outdoors, so it's
still outdoors even in the wintertime?
yeah.
Yes.
That's why they have the dome.
We're a hardy people.
I guess so. I am not that hardy. I am not.
You need to get hardy.
I am way too much of a germaphobe.
So we do have to, ladies. We're done. So we Jess, we didn't even get to talk about your surgery, but you look great, and obviously you're okay.
I feel good. I did try to tell a joke while I was in surgery.
What did you say?
I forgot the setup and the punchline, and they all just stared at me.
Was this?
They were putting the. What's that?
Was it life-threatening?
Kidney stones. Those are pretty life. Those are. I had it. Yeah. This is. Yeah. I have a lot of new material. Let me just say. Yeah, and I have a new doctor who's really ready. Who's really pushing me to go to that colonoscopy, and I'm like, it's too soon. It's too soon.
Those kidney stones, they got like little hooks on them. They're like,
okay.
It's brutal.
They're
brutal.
fucking ugly, man. They're like the scrubbing bubbles, but evil scrubbing bubbles.
Well, I had 2 surgeries. The first one, they couldn't get it because the kidney stone freaked out and crawled back up into my kidney. Apparently,
oh my god, cowardly
so
bastard!
They left a stent inside. And I was like, that was the worst because, the worst was the kidney stone moving the very first time. And I was like, I'm going to die. I told Steph, you have to call the ambulance. And of course it was like right before Christmas. And we have this big park where there's this festival of lights and no one can do anything. So everybody's there. And so the ambulance couldn't get to us for like an hour. And I'm like, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I was screaming. Right. And, I was like, oh, and then I got into the ambulance and the guy had to move the chair up and move it down and move it up and move it down and move it up and move it because I couldn't get comfortable. I've had a knee replacement. I would have another knee replacement before I have a kidney stone again. That's how bad that was.
Knee replaced?
Yeah.
We got to talk. I had both hips done. We should talk.
We should talk.
Yeah.
But I went in and I tried to tell them the Rosie O'Donnell joke, and
Right.
it's the setup is this guy asked. It's kind of a complicated setup, but my wife and I got married. We went to Vegas, blah, blah, blah. This guy came up to me and he said, "Are you Rosie O'Donnell?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Are you sure?" Right. And I was like, I've done improv. So I was like, well, fuck it. Time ROI, return on investment. I was like, yes, I am. I'm Rosie O'Donnell. And he's like, this is amazing. I'm going to get my family. Okay. You'll wait here and we can take a picture. Right. And I was like, sure thing. Right. And so I go in and I run into a bathroom and it's all about the bathroom. I forgot this entire part of the setup. So all I said was 9 times out of 10, when I go into a bathroom, a woman will look at me and then look at the door. And I'm like it hurts my feelings. And it's not because they think I'm a guy. It's because they think I can't read. Right. This is the joke. Right. It's very good. It's a very good joke. But I didn't tell it right.
It's a good close. That's a good close.
I was just like, I forgot like every 5 words I told the story. And then they just stood there and I was like, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been on stage. And all of a sudden I was like, and I gotta laugh after I said it's been a while. And then they just put me out. They're like, we don't want any more jokes.
That should be something that when a joke does, when you tell a joke and they don't want to hear a joke, they should just give you some Demerol.
Propanol.
I like that. So listen, Jess, do you have anything to plug for us before we leave?
No.
Okay. Julia?
I just happen to have this very special album. I don't know if I've ever talked about it. It's called Hello Boys, I'm Back. It's available for anywhere fine comedy is downloaded.
Wow.
And this new version has nude pictures of me inside.
Woo! She's going to have an OnlyFans
la.
site. Julia's going to have an OnlyFans site.
I just recently came across OnlyFans.
Yes. Do you know about OnlyFans, Julia? It's where women
Look it up. Don't tell her. Don't tell her. Let her
What
look
is?
it
Wait,
up.
tell me now. What is it?
No, it's where women pose naked, basically. And, if the people have fetishes, So if you're into balls, I have an OnlyFans site.
I was, but I got over it.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to plug something then.
Okay.
I have these new mugs that are called the
Oh.
OMG Comedy Club
Yes.
mug.
Oh,
Oh, very
And
nice.
if people buy a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, they can get free admission for the life of the t-shirt when I reopen a comedy club.
Yes.
Wow,
That'll be
that's great.
And then stress balls, everybody.
And both of you can come up and we can hang and we can talk about replacements.
Yes,
Yeah,
and-
have
and
me
then-
up there. I'll come up there.
I would love to have you up there.
Yeah.
I would love to be had.
Yeah, you guys definitely. We should do, the three of us should do a show together somewhere when we can go back to.
I'd be totally into it.
And then the other show that Julia and I are doing is this Saturday at the Nowhere Comedy Club. It's a virtual comedy club where we don't have to do anything but actually perform. Like, I produce the show myself, so I'm there, doing this, but there's that's Nowhere Comedy Club. It's me, Julia Scotti, Vanessa Hollingshead, and Leanne Lord, and the show at Soul
Great
Joe.
lineup.
Soul Joel's show at the next Saturday, the 23rd, right? 23rd, yes, I think is Nowhere Comedy Club, and then the 30th is me, Leanne, and Julia at so you can either see us virtually or live.
And so, just Hoda, if you're listening, it's come on up to the show up in Soul Joe's. Hoda,
That would be nice.
I'm
Hoda,
talking to you, Hoda.
Hola. All right, ladies. Thank you so much for this, audience.
Thanks for having me on, Carol.
Yes,
and it was great to meet you finally, Julia.
You too.
And I'll send you the link to share for later on. I love you guys. Stay safe. Tomorrow, it's a brand new day, people. And I'll see you guys. I'm gonna book out like I usually do.
The son of a bitch is gone tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Bye, everybody. Bye.